Hey everyone, Michelle here. So as you guys know, I was just in Europe and I did a lot of thinking about eating disorders myself, my recovery, and I came up with a load of topics that I can't wait to address. But today I want to talk a little bit about the phrase and the concept of keeping up with the Joneses, specifically in regards to prom. This is actually my first year that I'm eligible to go to prom, um, and I know that there are a lot of youth who watch these videos that I make, so I want to make this video tailored for them. So the concept of keeping up with the Joneses is something that um, is well known. It's basically like somebody else is doing something, so you do it because they're doing it, and basically it's just joining their bandwagon, and it's seen as socially acceptable, so that you just do it. So if everybody, um, sorry, if everyone um, buys iPads in your class, you might go and buy an iPad just to fit in with the crowd. I think that this is a very dangerous phrase, especially at this time of year, especially in regards to getting ready for prom. And we have all heard the term of getting ready for prom. And basically, there are many girls out there who restrict themselves and starve themselves in order to fit into a dress size. This is one of those times where it is a social eating disorder. And another example, just to throw it in, is like the holidays. Everyone binges at the holidays typically, and then engages in exercise and remorse afterwards, whether it be restricting, as I said, exercising, whatever. This, sorry, I'm a little sick. This prom season is one of those socially acceptable eating disorders where you could totally just slip back into old habits and get ready for prom, but in reality just act out in your eating disorder. And that's something that's really hit me in the past few days, especially talking with a few girls from my school. I do go to an all-girls school, and so it is like a different atmosphere entirely. But like, I don't know, just having everyone there and saying like they're getting ready for prom and different things, and seeing even some of my friends who I was just in Europe with, they're like on diets, restricting themselves so that they'll look good in their prom dress. And I I think that like my role, I've been talking to these people and I could easily say, "Oh, you want to know what? Everybody's starving themselves. Let me go and starve myself." But the thing is I know I can't. I have an eating disorder. Me starving myself is just giving into the eating disorder, saying that it's acceptable. And it's giving me an excuse to engage in symptoms in this mental illness that is life consuming and life threatening. And like, I think of the whole concept of keeping up with the Joneses, and you hear all these people who are getting ready for prom, and I was just sitting there and I was like, no, don't get ready for prom. And I had to be that sane voice. And people were, sorry, people were looking at me thinking like, why is she like not like getting ready for prom in a sense, or she's probably just doing it on her own accord. But no, I know that I've suffered an eating disorder, and I know that the slightest concept of, oh, let me just restrict, let me just starve myself a little bit, turns into full-blown restriction. It turns my whole healthy eating that I've been working on in recovery into the restrictive ednos that I've been battling. It's something that just like manipulates itself, and I think that as we get ready for prom, it's important to recognize that you don't need to keep up with the Joneses, that you don't need to starve yourself in order to fit into your dress size because everybody else is doing it. The thing is, it may be seen as somewhat socially acceptable at this time. However, it's not. If you're in recovery from an eating disorder, you know that weight, food, calories, and restriction, maybe binging, purging, that they're all hot topic issues for you, and that you are very vulnerable to them. And it is a time that can be very triggering, especially when you're like getting ready for prom and you're like, I want to have a good time at prom. I know one of my things is I'm not going to prom with a date. So sorry, I made an agreement that I am not taking Ed to the prom. I am going with me, myself, and I am going to be having a wonderful time without Ed. And I don't want to get ready for prom and restrict myself. And I think that's something that we really need to look at, because recovery has to be the main issue. It has to be the forefront of your mind. I was under this disillusion, I guess, for the longest time, thinking that I could recover every other aspect. I could talk about my abuse. I could talk about my self-injury. I could talk about the insecurities I had. I could talk about my depression. I could talk it all out, and I could just let the food be what it was. I could restrict myself so that I was hardly eating anything a day, and unable to focus and all of the side effects that came with my eating disorder. Like, I was like, I can work on this one side, but on the other side, not really. Um, which I think then it does get hard at this point to recognize that recovery has to be the forefront. You can't have recovery without healthy eating. You can't just say, I'm just going to get ready for prom, it's not going to trigger me. Because there is a sensitivity to food, to calories, to weight. There's a sensitivity because you have battled an eating disorder. And because of your history, it's important to know, one, food is fuel. It's something I know I've talked about. It's something that helps you and like basically is there to give you the strength to be able to get through a day, not to cause you so much agony and stress and pain that you're waiting to get ready for this prom and not even have fun at the prom because you're wondering, am I looking good in my dress? I think that as we do get ready for prom, and sorry, I was just like itching my leg for like a really long time, but as we do really get ready for prom, that you're getting ready in the aspect of recognizing that you do look freaking gorgeous in your dress. That maybe you're going with a group of friends, maybe you're going with a date, maybe you're going with your boyfriend, somebody you love. Maybe you just want to go and have a good time. That has to be the forefront. And that is recovery instituting itself directly into your life. I always think that recovery was its own separate thing, but I've realized that recovery isn't just done and over with. It's something that needs to be incorporated into every aspect of your life. You need to be able to take the positivity that you're learning and the coping skills that have come in your recovery and be able to incorporate them into your daily life. And this season, like getting ready for prom, that whole concept is a time to use your coping skills to make sure that you do maintain weight, maybe gain weight if you are at a low weight, which I know is scary, especially you think, oh my gosh, I have to look beautiful for prom. But the thing is, beauty is not defined by a number. Numbers mean absolutely nothing. I think that's something that is sorry guys, very important to consider during this time, especially getting ready for prom, and to recognize that getting ready for prom is just getting ready to have fun and not to give you a reason to approve of your eating disorder, to let you restrict, to let you engage in symptoms. That is not what prom is for. And yes, it may be a socially acceptable eating disorder at this time, but your recovery has to be the forefront. It has to be something, because without that, you can easily slip back into a relapse. You can easily lapse. You can even just like give up. And recovery is so worth it that I can't even explain. Like everything that I've gained in my recovery, even like just the personal qualities that I've come to learn about myself, is so much greater than what my eating disorder was giving me, that like it just astounds me. And I look back at my eating disorder and I think, oh, like sometimes I do wish I was as thin as I was like during the height of my disorder. But I know that I'm such a stronger and more confident person than I was during my disorder. And I think that's really important to consider as we get ready for this prom season. And that you don't need, and know, basically like know everything, but know that you don't need to keep up with the Joneses, that you can go to your own tune, that you can continue to institute recovery, continue to eat, maintain weight, stay healthy, and use that as a way to ultimately overthrow Ed and kick him out of your life completely, so that you're able to just enjoy life for what it is and not have to live in the eating disorder thoughts, the self-hatred, the abuse that goes on in an eating disorder. So I think that's something I really want to leave you guys with, is the concept that you don't need to keep up with the Joneses. You don't need to get yourself ready for prom, as some people would say. But you need to keep recovery as the forefront of your life. And you have to have that. Without recovery, you're still trapped. Sorry. Without recovery, you're still trapped in the eating disorder and the disordered thinking, and Ed has you in his grip exactly where he wants you. And so I just want to leave you with that, the concept that you don't need to keep up with the Joneses. Recovery is worth it. Recovery is far more valuable than anything Ed could offer. And so I hope that as all of you guys get ready for prom, let me know if any of you guys are actually going to prom, or even have any side comments in regards to what I've discussed, please put them in the comments below. But yeah, let me know if any of you guys are going to prom, any concerns that you may have, and just let me know what you guys think, because this is the time that you really need to work on recovery to continue to institute it instead of slipping back into old habits. So I think I want to leave you with that. The other quick thing is that this shirt I absolutely love. I bought it in Europe. It says "Do it for yourself," if you guys can see, and I'm recovering for myself. I'm doing it for myself. So that's a cool side note. As I said, I do have a lot of new videos that I have planned. Like, I actually have my list right here. But so I have a lot of videos planned, and I will be posting them very soon. If you have any topic that you want me to address, don't hesitate to send it in. If you're new to my channel, send me any questions, concerns, comments that you have. If you guys want me to address anything again, send it in. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So I will talk to you guys soon, and I hope that all of you are well.